Hello everyone. So I'm coming in here to further update the supposed impact event that's supposedly occurring this year. And after further and further research between myself and a few other people, you know, there's so many rumors out here that are claiming that this is going to occur in September of 2015. Now, while I am not making any predictions, the same as I didn't in the last video, that was simply information that was passed on to me to share with all of you. But in this video, I'm going to put out kind of an update, and I'm going to give you more and more evidence that's going to lead up to believe that there probably is something going on that they're hiding from us. Something very, very big. And it's leaning to that fact of an impact event that they know of. And at the end of this video, towards the end of this video here, I am going to give you an individual's initials with a trajectory that this individual has come up with. A trajectory of where this impact will take place. So, let's move on. Let's begin. Right here you have another NASA scientist dies in a plane crash, okay? And this is just one of many of the astronomers, and this guy was a NASA research scientist, and it's just another one in a long line. So here we go. That's piling up. Now let's look at something that a lot of people don't really look at, that they try to cover up, which is a lot of the federal spending, okay? So if you go in looking at this, I mean, it's just amazing the amount of money that you see going out as mandatory spending, but yet they cover it all up. And I'll show you what they cover it all up, most of it. They cover it all up with is right here, military. They try to say it's all military expenditures, but we all know that's BS. Why are we spending that much money when we have troops coming home and all this and that? And also, you're cutting them down to 2 meals a day, supposedly, right? So, right here, and just so many of the hundreds of trillions of dollars of derivatives that are out there floating around, which is causing our economies, not only in the United States, but all across the world, to collapse all at one time. Why? Because they don't really care. Now here's a kicker that you don't really hear a lot of people talking about, okay? Now you had our former Department of Homeland Security Secretary, okay, Janet Napolitano. And you can look it up, during Janet Napolitano's speech before leaving the Department of Homeland Security, she talked about how they learned from Hurricane Katrina and Superstorm Sandy. They learned to have supplies already in place in a certain area for upcoming and expected disasters. So if they would have known, what she said basically is, if they would have knew beforehand about Hurricane Katrina or Superstorm Sandy that it was going to be as bad and disastrous as it was, then they would have had supplies in place in them areas. And it kind of does not make sense, because you figure that it would, whatever comes through natural disaster would destroy whatever supplies they put over there. But that's not how they look at it. They look at it as search and rescue, people being able to sustain themselves with survival supplies in that area. So, that takes you to this email. What's going down in Puerto Rico? Because you have right here, this was an email, and a lot of this stuff is from 2012, 2013, 2014. But here you got a guy that sends out a blog email stating that he just wanted to tell about something his brother called him about in Puerto Rico. And his wife worked at a hospital, and she was freaking out about hundreds of body bags that were recently brought to her hospital, as well as thousands to other hospitals around the island. Now, another thing they're also bringing in is they're bringing in all kinds of military supplies. What people call the coffin liners, they're bringing a lot of those in. You know, and they were calling, you know, they were saying basically for some type of tsunami event. But this is all adding up if you look at it. You know, if you look at this, all the scientists and astronomers, you know, getting killed and dying off, if you look at the federal spending that they've been trying, they've just hijacked this country and the world economies and everything with their bunker building. I mean, they've been building so many underground shelters for the longest time now. So now you got to look at it and you got to say that the governments know that something is going on. You look at right here, and I mean, this tells so much. This tells so much right here. We all know what the Global Seed Vault is, okay? And there's another one. The Global Seed Vault was sealed in 2011. The seed bank will allow the world to restart agriculture given a global catastrophe. Okay, a global catastrophe. So that's not, you know, anything like a economic collapse, martial law, this and that. I mean, we're talking a global catastrophe. And then again, the federal spending for right here, digging huge underground facilities in inhospitable regions, difficult for the masses to reach. You know, look at China. It even says there, China is digging extraordinary subway complexes under most of its major cities in a crash program that seems odd in terms of timing and scope. So you got to think about even just the Global Seed Vault. Now that was in 2011. So they sealed it. Is it because that the trajectory of this thing that's moving so fast that they know that no amateur astronomers are going to pick it up? And that it's going to be on us before they know it, and maybe they're not even sure of their timeline? That's why they sealed the seed vault? Or maybe it was just complete, but I doubt it. They sealed that thing in a hurry. So now, last but not least, an individual, and I'm going to give you, without giving this person away completely, okay? I am going to give you his initials. The initial would be first name I, and his last name will be by a K. And this individual posted on his Facebook on October 31st of 2013. Okay? And what he's saying is he gave the trajectory and said that it was going to be an open sea between Venezuela and Brazil. Now, if you remember the last video I put out, I said that it was that from the source that talked to me, they said it was going to hit in the North Atlantic, somewhere in this area, right in here. Well, this is saying between, the trajectory on this is supposedly between Venezuela and Brazil. So you're talking right in this area here. Because here's Venezuela, here's Brazil, so it's got to be somewhere in the, and it said in the open ocean, so it has to be somewhere in this area, which is going to put everything in here at risk. You're talking Africa, South America, North America, and then here we go. Now if you look, again, what do we got right here? Puerto Rico, which takes us back again to moving supplies into these areas, okay, which takes us right back to the hospitals, all the supplies being taken over there. Also, let's not forget, if there was an impact event in the North Atlantic, you're going to wash out the east coast of the United States. So let's not forget last year with all the preparedness plans in FEMA Region 3 and moving all the supplies over there, all the survival supplies, all the elementary schools with the 3-day kits for every child, all the coffins, all the water. I mean, just they move so much supplies over there. So there you go. That's the update I have for now. And like I said, I'm not saying it's going to happen in September of 2015. Maybe it's 2020. You know, it could be 2025. I don't know. I am just passing on information that was sent to me, and me and a few other people are doing a lot of research on this. If you guys find anything good, take care and let me know.